Do you even know if you can retire? Hi, I'm Michelle, a financial advisor here at Financial Design Studio, where we work with corporate executives as they prepare to retire in a tax efficient way. In today's video, I want to walk you through the timeline of planning decisions you need to make starting 10 years before your retirement date. Now, let me walk you through a timeline of the different ages of things you need to consider as you lead up to retirement. So imagine you're someone thinking about retiring, and there's a lot of different ages that you can decide things. So, for example, age 62, this is the earliest that you could start Social Security. Then, age 65, this is when Medicare Part A starts. And then, age 70, this is the latest that you could take Social Security. And then age 73, this is when RMDs start for most people. Now, what's interesting on this timeline is, for everybody, there's different ages here that you have to decide. So, for example, age 67 might even be another one. Let's say that you're someone who wants to retire at age 67. You want to start considering your retirement decisions 10 years before. So, that would be at age 57. Now, something that we find common with a lot of people is once we build that financial plan for you and you have a really good look and you have clarity to say, wow, I could retire at the ages I'm thinking. A natural question that comes up is, should I actually retire sooner? Can I retire before I was thinking, or can I do more in retirement? So some other ages or another age you may need to be aware of is at 59 and a half. Before this age, if you take money out of an IRA, there is a penalty that you have to pay on top of the taxes you pay for that money that comes out. There's just ages like this or things you need to be aware of depending on when you want to retire or when you can or when you need to take money out of different accounts. So this is just an example of once you start, you actually might change what you're thinking to do. So now let's talk about that. I'm going to walk you through kind of this 10-year timeline and the different things that we go through in each stage. So we kind of break this into years 1 through 3, years 4 through 6, and then years 7 through 10. There's different things that we want to cover that are important to do at each stage. So in the very beginning, this is a really important step to get organized, to get everything that you need, that we need to be aware of, out into the open, that's known so that we know all the rules around your retirement or the things that you have in place, like company stock, pension, retirement accounts, things like that. So we're organizing everything. We're also creating a strategy. So we're kind of building this initial strategy for the next 10 years for your retirement and beyond so that now you know, okay, here's what we're going to do over this time frame, and you can start to think about that and you can start to have what we call clarity. This gives you clarity, understanding, awareness of what it is that you're going to need to do in this window of time and beyond so that your plan will be successful. During this time, we're also implementing things. So it's not that we wait until the end of the 10 years when retirement finally happens to actually implement these things, but we're implementing things along the way as well. Now that you've gained clarity and you know how everything looks, it is, like I said, common for people to say, well, can I retire sooner? So in this years 4 to 6, what we're really kind of getting even closer, more clarity, more refined on are things like tax minimizing. This is where we want to try and keep as much of your money as possible. So that's minimizing the taxes you pay as you're using the funds that you've saved. So that's one of the big things that we're trying to do in this step, tax strategy. Another is de-risking your investments. So this is where, you have been saving money for your whole life. You've been trying to grow those funds so that now in retirement you can use them. So now as we approach retirement, we're saying, well, do I need to take as much risk? Do I need these to grow as much as I did then? Or do I really need to maintain and just outpace inflation from now until the end of my life? So we're de-risking your investment portfolio so that your money is there when you need it. You're not having to see all this volatility along the way as you get closer and into retirement. So we're changing that portfolio as well. And then this is where we even kind of talk about retirement ages or retirement dates. And this is where some of these conversations of should I change it? Can it be earlier? Do I actually want to keep working longer? This is where a lot of these conversations will happen for many different reasons. People may enjoy what they do, or they may say, I'm under too much pressure and I actually want to retire sooner. What's happening in this stage here is that you're gaining confidence for your plan. So you are gaining even more confidence as you go through because you've seen your plan over the last few years, tracking it. You know you're on course. You know you can do the things you want to do. We're building in these strategies that make your plan even better in saving taxes, in taking less risk with your investments. So you're gaining confidence that the decisions that you're making you actually can make. And you know that, and you can feel good about them. So that's really what we're trying to gain in this middle stage. Now, as we get really close to retirement in these years 7 to 10, again, some of these same conversations can happen that we've already talked about. And actually, the strategy, implementation, and clarity, these are always happening. There's always new things that we're talking about in each of these stages. So those are always happening. So in years 7 to 10, what we're really talking about is cash flow. This is a really big piece of, okay, I've been getting a paycheck. Now, where is that money going to come from that I need to pay those expenses? And so cash flow is a big part. So we can say, this is where it's going to come from. And again, you can have confidence in that. Now, what we're also talking about, if we haven't already, are goals. Now, this is one, again, as you get closer, you might say, what am I going to do with my time? That might be hobbies, clubs, spending more time with your family, travel, whatever that looks like for you. And so those goals become even more important as that date gets closer. And then now we're trying to say, okay, what's this post-retirement tax picture or tax strategy look like? And so this is where we've been planning, we've had a really good idea, here's what we're going to do, but now that we know when you're going to retire, now that we know all those details, we start to implement this plan for some of those opportunities that happen once you're retired and you no longer have as much income coming in. And so now we can actually take advantage of those tax saving strategies now that you're retired. These are the things that you give yourself time to think about if you give yourself this 10-year window before retirement in working with an advisor to build a plan that's right for you. No plan is the same. And our goal is that corporate executives can be confident and know that they can retire when they're wanting to. If you'd like to know that you can retire when you're hoping to, please look at our website, financialdesignstudio.com, and click Get Started so we can start that conversation towards helping you retire when you're hoping to.